educated people, that you would have all figured out that once you betray your country, it's going to come back to you. It's going to come and bite you in your ass like a rat. Like a big, wet, nasty rat. Huh? I thought you people figured this out, that when you go on this rampage to embarrass the country and to sell out to the country, that would have figured out that, boy, we need to do something different because this is going to come back to us. I mean, I thought Mr. Rattigan said he was a FBI agent. I mean, how could you not think that this shit is going to come down on you one of these days in ways that you can't even begin to imagine? Mr. Rattigan, you never figured out? If you betray your country, you will pay a price. Let's talk about the rats and Mr. Rattigan's sinking ship. Hello, Karen Cecilia here. I'm having fun with this one. You can't even begin to imagine how much fun I'm having with this. Just watching them tearing up each other, Mr. Rattigan doing him thing. But let's look at it briefly and see what we can figure out of this. Remember to give the video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and relatives and colleagues and whatever. And if you have not yet subscribed, I don't even know what you're waiting for. Go ahead, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when things come out, you'll be the first to see it. All right? So things are heating up in the U.S. elections. The new British Prime Minister can't seem to find his footing. The Palestinian people are still dying and children are left without homes or parents. Mr. Netanyahu is hell-bent on his war for his political survival. And it seemed like once again, maybe for the 1 millionth time in my lifetime, it seems like the world is going to hell. And that pretty much sums up what is happening around the world. There are good things happening, but I mean, good things don't make the news. And as usual, Jamaica can't let it be. Jamaica does have to get itself involved in all that is happening so that somebody can say something happening at Jamaica as well. So, something have to be going on here as well. So meanwhile, all of that going on in the world, over by Camp Ratchet, the senior rats are running amok and in a frenzy, while the junior rats hijack the ship and attempted mutiny. Mr. Rattigan is on an expedition tour, and that is going horribly wrong. So after listening to Jamaica 411 and Jamaica Politics University and Mr. Rattigan's dilemma, I decided to weigh in because, I mean, it's just too juicy not to weigh in. Didn't you never think, Mr. Rattigan and crew, didn't you never think that your actions would have consequences? That you were going to pay a price for your behavior? Didn't you not think about that? Did that never cross your mind? Was that not measured into the equation of when you decided that you're going to go out and you're going to betray your country? Didn't you not think about that? Because I am under the impression that you're an educated man. After all, you say you're FBI or you're a former FBI agent. So you say, I don't know that to be true, but you say so. At least live up to what you say. But clearly, you never expect that the whole shit was going to be gone to rat shit or whatever. But all fun and joke aside, patience is a virtue. And traitors don't know how to be patient. And traitors never, ever think about an end game. Historically, traitors don't think about an end game because you're a traitor. Nothing matters to you except you're betraying something, somebody, for some selfish reason that you are pursuing at the time that you are doing that betrayal. But patriots have enormous amount of patience. So all we had to do is wait. Just wait for it all to come crumbling down. And then we take it from there. Let me share something with you, Mr. Rattigan and the rest of the rats. The resistance, briefly. The resistance, like all resistance throughout history, was not an organized grouping of people decided to take on a particular mission against Mark Golding and the Rise crew. It was not like that. The resistance came about like every other resistance throughout history. It was another group of people that don't know each other, people that know each other through social media. Few people know each other otherwise, but it was just that, an other disorganized organization, and we call ourselves the resistance, and we became a crew. The main names that you all know, and then after a while, some of the resistance, original and not original, decided that they were going to stop resistance and became risers. They were going to help Mark rise. They were going to support them leader and them party. And they went. And apart from the fact that them come out, and some of them come out on social media and saying all kind of things about the organization that they were previous members and leaders of, the resistance, they bust up liberty by the resistance. The resistance don't make one. All kind of things about the resistance. And we don't follow that. The thing why I'm telling you this is this. In spite of that, on social media, with them throwing word for the resistance, and sometimes we fling back something upon them. In spite of all of that, no trust has been broken. No personal things that were discussed. Nothing that were of a personal nature or a private nature have been placed on Facebook by these people who decided that they were going to rise. They were once resistance and then they were going to rise. Nothing like that happened. Do you know why? It don't happen because when they started out and we all started out, it was an effort. It was a noble effort that we all went on. A noble campaign to reclaim our party, to reclaim the goodness and the greatness of the People's National Party, and to show Jamaica how wicked and heartless Mark Golding and Peter Bunting and the Rise leaders were. That's what it was. So even in our disagreement now, there's no need for anyone to come on social media and betray any kind of confidences. But boy, Mr. Rattigan, that is not the same thing for you and your band of brothers at all. It appears that we never do what the resistance did. What we did in the early days when we start to resist and we don't really know each other, we check out each other. We certainly research each other. We call upon young people. We talk to people for find out things about people. And we did. So we know each other. We also know each other's weaknesses and each other's strength. But because we were on a noble mission, we did that. Your mission, Mr. Rattigan, is not a noble mission, which is why you missed all of that about your former FBI agent. You missed all of that when you joined with a band of men and calling yourself brothers. You have to check out each other and make sure you have an understanding of how each other operate. But you never do that. You never do that, Mr. Rattigan. Because your mission is not a noble mission. I'm not going to go into the fine print of how they reach where they are now. But I just know it was bound to happen because it's Newton's law. But this group embark on a mission to destroy Jamaica's credibility and the credibility of the leader of the country. And they decided, while they have a right as Jamaicans to do that, their biggest mistake and biggest betrayal is that they decided to do that on foreign soil. That's what they did. This organization is a band of men, not even one woman in the midst. Not one woman. I'm not say woman, woman. Not even one woman. Man, them not no woman in the organization, just them a whole heap of man. Not one woman in the midst. That alone tells you that that group of band of men are up to no good. The head rat, Mr. Rattigan himself, is now out on social media trying to explain to the public all the things that the junior rat says about the seniors and all that went wrong that led them to say what they are saying now, and him trying to explain it away. He's trying to explain the workings of the organization that he founded, that him set up, and what its distinct purpose was. But him can't explain the fact that these organizers that him set up had a distinct purpose to embarrass Jamaica and to do their damnedest to embarrass the Jamaican Prime Minister. That they set up an organization that they say was not political and became political as hell. The foundation that Mr. Rattigan said that him set up. Him set it up to tackle lawsuits, help and other things, to help people who facing discrimination, and to set it up about some other things. Them have some articles of something and some mission statement talking about the deal with things and constitutional things. And Mr. Rattigan brought on Wayne Lonesome on board, and him and Wayne Lonesome leading it. I gather them brought on some more people, including some of the other rats them were running up their mouth now. But this is not a foundation that was set up for some kind of altruistic plan, for some fictitious reasons of holding power accountable or to demonstrate patriotism or love towards Jamaica. No! It was not set up for that. It was set up because Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell pushed the idea for him to do so, which is why he brought on Mr. Lonesome in it. Because this idea to set up this foundation to do Mark Golding's bidding to embarrass Jamaica and Jamaican Prime Minister. And that was what it was set up. So let's go back a little bit and see when this was set up and what was happening around about the time that it was set up. At the time when the foundation was set up in 2022, it was just about that same time that the entire Rise leadership became frequent guests on Mr. Lonesome YouTube platform. And that was an inspiration for Mr. Rattigan. Mr. Rattigan saw that as a way forward to the police force top job, because he wanted to be commissioner. So they all came together with the common purpose to bring down the Jamaican economy, because that was Mark Golding's plan. All these men from different parts of the diaspora, not even one woman. Remember, I said woman, not even one woman. All of these men from different parts of the diaspora came together for this one purpose: to bring down the Jamaican economy, to sow doubt and mistrust in the Jamaican economy. Their directions came directly from Mark Golding. And this was done not only to embarrass the Prime Minister and degrade Jamaica in the eyes of the world, but to bring all of that to the attention of our friends, our allies, our economic partners, the people who we do business with. They did it at the behest of Mark Golding, who was looking for a way, because when Mark Golding started spouting that idea of demonstrating and protesting against Jamaica on foreign soil, he was looking for a way to get early elections. Of course he wanted early elections. He wanted early elections before we find out that he was a British citizen with a British passport and he didn't intend to give it up because I'm father give him. So he was pushing all him antics we go on with for the last year and a half. 2 years was designed for that, for him to get an early election before the Jamaican people wake up and discovered that it was a lying, deceptive piece of crap. Mark Golding wanted to create mistrust among our international partners by destabilizing Jamaica and doing so from foreign soil. Something like that could lead our international partners to interfere in our domestic squabbles and then force an election on our country to settle it. We have seen this movie before. We have seen it. It was just a little bit more sophisticated and stupid now, because they don't know what they do. But that was Mark Golding's goal. Having done the damage that they have done to Jamaica's reputation, it is now a natural progression for them to be warring with each other and spilling brotherhood secrets and going on about social media, and Mr. Rattigan trying to explain himself to reclaim his leadership. It is clear to me that theirs was a joining of effort only to help Mark Golding to damage Jamaica's economy, and was never an effort to do any good. I am not going to go into any detail about their motivations, because they might not know right now, but Me have them ticket. Yeah, man, I have them ticket and I can cash it in anytime. You see, the ticket that I have is a one-way ticket directly to the Internal Revenue Services, the IRS. And not only just to the IRS, but to the IRS Commissioner, Mr. Daniel Werfel. Or maybe I should just call him Rabbi Werfel. How about that, Mr. Rattigan? You know Rabbi Werfel? Oh yes, Rabbi Werfel was appointed by Joe Biden as the IRS Commissioner. So my one-way ticket for Uno to pay the price for what to do is through Mr. Werfel. Rabbi. But this one-way ticket also leads to Mr. Edward Killen, aka Ed. You see, Ed is responsible for tax-exempt organizations like the one Mr. Rattigan set up. Yeah, Mr. Rattigan organization is a tax-exempt organization. And when you put in an application and set up such an organization, and then you apply to the IRS for tax-exempt status, Mr. Rattigan, as a so-called former FBI agent, you must know that your application for a tax-exempt status is not just your application, but them also get everything that you put in as paperwork when you did set up the organization. You must know that. Tell me, say you know that. Can you say former FBI agent? Yeah. So Mr. Ed is responsible for tax-exempt organizations, just like yours. And I am sure Ed would be very interested to finding out what's going on over there, so to look into the 501. According to the documentation that Mr. Rattigan used to register this foundation is set up to do a number of things. I am going to leave it to Michelle and Natalie to flesh it out for you, but I want to mention a few important things that they say them set up this organization for. One, to help members of a Jamaican society, for advocacy, community service, to help individuals in need, to protect and support Jamaicans with legal representation. Ed, I go want to see them things there. Ed, I go want to know how many Jamaicans in this Jamaican society, yeah, because by using the words Jamaican society, we're talking about in a Jamaica, you know. We're not talking about in Florida or UK or in Washington or New York. Oh no. Help members of Jamaican society. That's Jamaica. Inside here, so. Advocacy, community service, to help individuals in need, to support and protect Jamaicans with legal representation. And you don't use the word Jamaican society because all of that now falls into Jamaican society. Come on, Rattigan. Tell me you know these things. Ed is going to want to see all of that. How many people were helped and protected with legal representation in Jamaica? Ed is going to want to see pictures and videos of advocacy, community service, and individuals in need. Come on. Everybody down here is an individual in need. Ed is going to want to see how much of those people, individuals, you actually help, Mr. Rattigan. Ed is going to want to see it. Because if Ed don't want to see it, me, I'm going to make sure I want to see it. Being a foundation that you say he said, Mr. Rattigan said in his registration in the US, in his tax exemption thing and all the things that him apply for to set up this organization, he said that they're going to operate from, the foundation will be operating from Jamaica. The foundation will be operating from Jamaica. Mr. Rattigan need to tell me if I lie, me I tell. Because if the foundation is going to be operating from Jamaica, then the foundation must be registered with the Friendly Society and or the Registrar of Companies. Yeah, man. For his sake. I hope it is. The entire organization of Longtone, man, use this organization set up by Mr. Rattigan, which was one of the reasons it was set up, to help Mark, but to also help themselves. To make money. And that's all there is to it. It's a money-making thing. So all the money that has been spent since you're out there begging people money, I don't have no website, I don't have all of this, telling people how to contribute. The IRS is going to want to know how those contributions were spent. And if it was spent within the parameters of what you said the organization set out to do. The IRS is going to want to know. I repeat to you, If them no want to know, me I gonna make sure them want to know. So we not set up an organization that turns out to be a political organization to destabilize the Jamaican economy on behalf of one political leader in the country against the other. What do you think about that, Mr. Rattigan? What do you think about that? Because the videos are there to prove it. So you have got proof to Mr. Ed and Rabbi Warfel that this is an organization that was set up to do the things that you said that it's set up to do, and you actually did the things that you said you set out to do in Jamaica, in the Jamaican society. Nothing about diaspora, nothing about Jamaicans abroad. Everything about the Jamaican society. We want to know what you do here. We want people to come forward and say you do something for them. More look a barber for say you buy him 2 shear. More farmers for say you buy him one pair of pig. Where do you do all of that? Taking contributions from innocent Americans and people across the world who contribute to you for fed on our own nest. I'm not going into some of the things that we are talking about, Mr. Rattigan. I'm just making a broad outlay for the Jamaican people to see where all of this betrayal lied and why you did it. And how you get caught up now in our own self that's going to betray each other. Because we never have no noble purpose in the first place. And this is what it leads to. Total betrayal. And that betrayal is going to bring out every single thing that needs to be brought out. I look forward to Jamaica 411 and Jamaica Politics University to continue to outline to the country that this organization was registered to protect and support Jamaicans with legal representation. We want to know how many Jamaicans in this country who can't afford lawyer got help from your foundation. Advocacy, community service, help individuals in need. We want to see some pictures and some video. Help members of Jamaican society. That is the larger basis of how you set up this thing, to help members of Jamaican society. Now, knowing how the Americans work and knowing how the system work, the IRS and the organizations that oversee and register these foundations and these organizations not going to raise any big red flag if them say a man who says he's a former FBI agent setting up an organization to say I'm going to help him fellow people them in Jamaica. Nobody that will give him a hassle about that. Nobody is going to give him a hassle about that because Jamaica is not Nigeria. Jamaica is not Colombia. So there would be no raising a red flag. It would be a done deal. Got through. Advocacy. Protect and support Jamaicans with legal representation. Help members of Jamaican society. How many of them? Ed is going to want to see a list of that. And the Jamaican, and you say the foundation operates from Jamaica. We want to know if it is registered with the Friendly Society. We want to know if it registered with the Register of Companies. All on a long tone, man, looking to make money. In listening to Mr. Rattigan in one of his explanation tour, because I'm on an explanation tour, in listening to him, in addressing this junior rats them who attempting a mutiny, Mr. Rattigan cannot just say simply all the things that has been said are untrue, or he cannot just simply say what was true and what was not. Why is that? Instead, he goes for the more sublime argument that everything is accounted for. And that is the kind of argument that one would make when you know you either thief the money or you spend it in an unethical way. Between the two, between you and your bro them, for whatever reasons, that you are going to doctor whatever thing to present to the IRS each year, that this is what you did. But now, you went out of the parameters of what you set out to do, and you took on the political giants in all of this. You decided that you are going to go a step further because you want to work. You want to be commissioner of police, so you're going to use that foundation and go a step further, and you're going to politicize it. And not like that now in the documents that when you have set up the foundation. Not about politics. Not about pitching one party against the other, because the IRS and the phone and the people that set up these all consider those things to be divisive, unless the country that you're setting it up for is an enemy of the US. So they wouldn't have no issue if you had set up one and in a Russia or China or Turkey or whatever place. You know? But they would not take kindly to it, because Jamaica is a friend. Jamaica is an ally. Jamaica is a partner, economically and otherwise. So they're going to want to know. I have always felt from the very first time, from the beginning of all of this protest out in New York, from I start looking into Mr. Rattigan, from I start looking into the big heavy files them on him, I have always felt that your motivation, Mr. Rattigan, was just about everything that you're doing. And what he has been doing, Mr. Rattigan, is to ingratiate himself with Mark Golding in order to get the police commissioner job. Like you can't get no work nowhere. You know, say you're a former FBI agent. Me don't know no FBI agent. You are the only former FBI agent. And I put that in quote. Quote unquote, former FBI agent who can't get a work anywhere. Every former FBI agent can get a work. A big thing that. You're a former FBI agent. All kind of people want to hire you for all kinds of things. But you can't get the work. So you're putting yourself in a state of mind, in a state where you are now, where you set up an organization for one reason, and you continue to do another thing with it because you want to work, because you can't get the work anywhere. But it must be that Mr. Rattigan must realize by now that he's not going to be police commissioner in Jamaica, because he can't pass the national security test. All the things that he has done suggest that he can't pass the national security test. I am surmising that Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell encouraged them to do this because that would put Mark Golding in a better position in terms of suing the Jamaican government on various issues that bothers Mark. And assuming that it would have more credibility because them in the diaspora and being the diaspora carries weight. So this is what I'm saying. Set up the organization when we want to sue Andrew Holness, when we want to bust up liberty for Andrew Holness, when we want to degrade Jamaica, when we want to bring down Jamaica, put Jamaica in jeopardy, we use honor to do it. And the problem with that is, one, they are amateurs at threading the needle between politics and activism. Amateurs. They don't know how to do that, clearly. And they don't know how to do that because they're not noble. Their ideas and how them set out to do this is not noble, is not good. And because it's not good, that is why we are now. And two, too many rats digging one hole. And most of whom are hundreds of miles apart and have different agendas and motivated by different things, and nobody have any commitment to each other. But mostly, why this is not going to work, mostly why that there's a problem for that is that all of them individually see an opportunity to make some money, see an opportunity to ingratiate themselves with Mark Golding to get a position, kind of a turn prime minister. Oh yeah. Mr. Wilfred Rattigan, you betrayed your country, and you must pay a price for that. Betrayal never go unpaid. You betray your country, there's a price. There's a price for betraying your country. You must pay that price. You could have several hundred tours of explanation as to how the money went and what went on, and trying to appease the junior rats. You're going to pay a price. So the rats are coming home to roost, and now that it is crumbling, my job is to get a tractor and crush it. That I will do. Treachery have a price, man. It's called karma, like everything else, except that this is a bitch karma. So now, Uno went out there, debase my country, chat crap about the leaders of the country, huh? Bring down Jamaica, put Jamaica upon the radar of people saying things about Jamaica on foreign soil, as Jamaicans. You can't get away with that. Or if you get away with that, stay tuned. Thank you for listening to my rant, everyone. God bless you. Stay safe, everybody, and keep your children safe.